All right, well, you're fighting for our country, but Navy F-18 pilots are facing an even bigger battle.
That's right. It's a safety issue with their jets. It could be deadly.
Fox News correspondent Lea Gabrielle joins us right now with more of that story. Of course, this strikes close to home with you. This is not you thinking about model planes. You fly these planes.
You know, that is just so true. And I spoke exclusively with F-18 pilots, active duty people who are very concerned about something that essentially makes them like being drunk in the cockpit. So as tensions are escalating across the globe, reports show pilots who fly all models of the F-18, one of the United States' most fierce fighting aircraft, are increasingly in harm's way before they even make it into combat. Since 2009, the Department of the Navy has seen a rise in hazard reports regarding what are called physiological episodes in F-18 Hornet and Super Hornet aircraft. Physiological episodes are basically when pilots become impaired with symptoms that jeopardize their flights. They're generally caused by oxygen loss or depressurization because of system failures in the plane. I spoke with current F-18 pilots from both the Navy and the Marines. They would not go on camera for concern for their careers, but they each told me that the already alarming situation is worsening and that they are seeing firsthand how it's affecting the mindset of our military elite. One pilot said, quote, "We signed up for this. It is an inherently risky business. You may not come back each time you take the aircraft airborne, but the Navy and the Marine Corps should give you a better than average chance." And they all echoed the sentiment of another pilot who bluntly said this: "When I go flying in combat, what's more likely to kill me is not getting shot down by enemy fire. It's a failure in my most basic life support system." Well, according to congressional testimony by a Navy admiral, from 2015 to 2016, the rate of these dangerous episodes increased in some models by 90%. Now, both the Navy and the Marine Corps have been open with us, although neither would offer an on-camera interview. They both say that they take pilot safety very seriously, and a Navy official added this is a complex problem and said naval aviation leaders are engaging with the aircrew, they're listening to their concerns, and they're continuing their efforts to correct the issue. A Marine Corps official also said that experts are working diligently to determine the root causes. But Ainsley, Brian, and Steve, you know, the bottom line is while they're working on this situation, F-18 pilots have to get in those jets and go flying, knowing that they may end up in a situation and there is no automatic backup system, nothing that would automatically detect a problem and then switch them over to emergency oxygen.
So let me ask you something. Then aren't these planes supposed to be phased out anyway?
Well, that is something that they've been working on as they've been trying to bring the Joint Strike Fighter online, as they've been trying to move forward. However, they are the workhorse of the fleet right now. They're the ones who are doing it in combat, and they're not getting this problem fixed for pilots.
What is the problem? What's the matter with the plane?
If anybody knew the answer, then they could fix that.
It's just something about the design.
I could go into the details. It has to do with system failures and things like the onboard oxygen generating system or cabin pressurization system. Sometimes it's a canopy seal. But let me tell you, in my Navy flight training, I had to experience a physiological episode. They do this to you intentionally. So they made me hypoxic, where I didn't have enough oxygen. My fingers were tingling. I felt like I was intoxicated. I couldn't even play patty cake when this happened. And some pilots eventually become unconscious. So this is a very dangerous situation. We've talked about my landing emergency here on your show. When I was in an F-18, I was 26 years old when I had to land an F-18 in an emergency on an aircraft carrier. I cannot imagine having to do it while essentially intoxicated.
Lea, how often is this happening?
You know,
too often.
Too often, and according to that congressional testimony, in some models of the F-18, the incidents have increased by 90%. That's in congressional testimony. So the numbers are increasing. It's getting worse. And right now, what needs to happen is the focus needs to be on fixing these problems for pilots. The T-45 pilots, a trainer, pilots actually stopped flying because of this, and the Navy grounded those aircraft until they can fix the problem. But F-18 pilots, they got to keep on flying.
When you were reading one of the quotes from one of the pilots, it hit home to me that they said, every single day when we go to work, we don't know if we're coming back.
Right.
I come to work every day. That is never a concern for me. I can't imagine. I mean, they're the bravest individuals, and you're one of them.
Well, let's see what happens.
Thank you for saying that.
All right, Leah.
Thanks for having me on for this.
Thank you.